Why am I so excited, you guys might be wondering? It's because my Charlotte Hornets, baby. You see the jersey, fresh from the game, just left the arena. We just beat on the Toronto Raptors last night. Why does that matter? Because Undead is Canadian. Okay, well, he's not Canadian, but he lives in Canada, so that's close enough. We're just gonna call him Canadian. That just goes to show we'll never lose to Undead at anything, ever. Because that's what we do out here. My Charlotte Hornets might be trash sometimes, but we will never lose to Canada. America. What's up? What's the Weatherman here with a brand new video for you guys, and I know you guys have been waiting for this video for a while, and honestly I think I'm gonna do a second video on this. I'm gonna do a free-to-play version of this video too if you guys would like. It might come out in a couple weeks or so. I don't want to give you guys a specific date, but I might do a free-to-play version of this as well. Swordsoul is pretty nice. It's a brand new deck to the game that came out like a month ago actually. Got a brand new level 10 that we've added to the game, and it's really nice. It's a synchro deck that gives us a monster negate, spell trap negate. We've got removal in the form of bouncing, banishing, destruction. Shoot, we can even use you as fusion material. There's not really anything that this deck cannot do. So, without further ado, can you please play my intro? For starters, the skill that we're going to be playing with this deck is Virtuous Bonds. You can only use this skill's second effect once per turn, and at the beginning of the duel, we're going to add 3 Mirror Jades to our extra deck, and during this duel, we cannot normal or special summon monsters, excluding special summons from our extra deck, except for Fallen of Albaz or cards that mention Fallen of Albaz or Swordsoul monsters. If our opponent has a card on their field or their graveyard, we're going to be able to get an additional normal summon on our turn, which means pretty much when we're going second, we're going to be able to get an additional normal summon. Lastly, we're going to be able to reveal Ecclesia or reveal Iris Swordsoul from our hand to be able to search for the incredible Ecclesia. So what this skill does is, for starters, it does give us a extra turn to kind of play, makes our turns a little bit better. But what's more important to me is it does give us extra consistency with this deck, which is something that really helps us a lot and helps us play staples. So Iris and Ecclesia become consistency pieces because we can reveal them with the skill to search for any Swordsoul in the deck. And with that being said, let's jump right into some combo. For the first combo, this is going to be a 1-card combo having just Ecclesia in your hand. Also, please be mindful, this combo is obviously better if you have other cards than Ecclesia in your hand. So for this first combo, we're just going to have Ecclesia. We're going to reveal Ecclesia using the skill to be able to search for a Swordsoul card, and that Swordsoul card is going to be Long Yuan. Now we can normal summon Ecclesia and tribute it to summon my boy Mo Bamba, Swordsoul Moye. Moye is going to reveal a Swordsoul or a Worm in our hand, pause, to summon a level 4 token tuner, and we're going to use those 2 cards to be able to synchro into a level 8 synchro, which is going to be our Swordsoul Grandmaster Child. On summon, Child is going to add to our hand or banish a Swordsoul card from our deck, and in this scenario, we're going to be adding Blackout to our hand. Side note though, Child can either be a monster negate or a searcher. He is not going to be able to do both in the same turn, so please be mindful of that. If you do summon him going second, going first is really not that relevant. Now we're going to summon Long Yuan from our hand by discarding a Swordsoul or Worm from our hand, and this will also prompt Long Yuan to summon a level 4 token toner himself to the field. Now we're going to use these 2 to synchro into one of our level 10s, which in this instance is going to be Supreme Sovereign. Long Yuan will also burn our opponent for 600 if it's sent to the graveyard as synchro material. And with that being done, that's pretty much the end of the combo. What does this board do? Well, this field gives us a monster negate with Chow as long as we can banish a Swordsoul or a Worm from our hand or grave. Then if a card is banished, our other synchro Supreme Sovereign is going to be prompted to banish a monster from the field and the graveyard. Supreme Sovereign can also protect himself from card effect destruction by banishing a card from our graveyard, which in a way kind of means he can prompt his own effect. Lastly, our trap Blackout works nicely with Supreme Sovereign because it will destroy 1 Worm monster that we control to pop 2 cards that our opponent controls. And since he can protect himself from card effect destruction, it means that we can target him to not really lose anything. We will target him, pop 2 of our opponent's cards. We don't lose anything, but our opponent gets 2 cards destroyed from their field. This next combo is going to be one of the better combos. Personally, this is a 2-card combo, and honestly, I think it's probably one of the better hands you could get in the deck. And this is going to require Ecclesia plus Swordsoul Emergence. We're going to activate the skill to reveal Ecclesia to search for Long Yuan from our deck. Now we're going to activate Emergence to search for Golden Swordsoul. And this time we are going to start with Long Yuan. Please be mindful, right? Slight warning, the order that you do this combo does depend on the amount of Swordsoul cards that you have in your hand. You may have to do this combo in a different order. More than likely, you might have to summon Long Yuan later in the combo if you don't have certain pieces. We're going to summon Long Yuan from our hand by discarding Golden Swordsoul from our hand and summoning a token tuner to the field as well. Now we're going to synchro with our level 6 plus our level 4 and go into our level 10 synchro, Sinister Sovereign. Now we're going to summon Ecclesia and tribute him to summon Swordsoul Taya from our deck. Now we're going to activate Taya and banish Emergence from our graveyard to summon a level 4 token tuner to the field. We're going to synchro into Chow, which on summon will prompt 3 effects to activate, being Taya from the grave, Chow, and Sinister in whatever order you like. Just make sure you say yes to Sinister first so that it happens last on the chain link. Taya will send a Swordsoul or Worm to the grave, which will be Moye, and Chow will add the spell Swordsoul Summit from our deck to our hand. After this happens, Sinister is going to draw us a card, because if we synchro summon a worm monster while this bad boy is on the field, we are going to be able to draw a card. Now we activate Swordsoul Summit to special summon Mo Bamba from our graveyard, and Moye on summon is going to reveal a Swordsoul or worm in our hand, still pause, to be able to summon a token tuner to the field. This is going to allow us to summon our other level 8, being Adamancipator Risen Dragite. As an alternative, you could also summon Guts, but I do think that it depends on the matchup. I think 9 times out of 10, you're going to go for Adamancipator Dragite. Why? Because he's a spell trap negate. As long as we have a water monster in our graveyard, so make sure that you keep Moye engraved. This field for the most part explains itself except for a couple things. If a monster is banished face up, then Golden Swordsoul will banish itself to summon a light spellcaster monster from our hand or grave. This is going to summon Ecclesia back from our graveyard, who can as a quick effect tribute itself to summon Fallen of Albaz from our deck. Fallen of Albaz on summon will discard a card to fusion summon using our opponent's monster as material, which will either be Mirror Jade if we're trying to get rid of an extra deck monster that our opponent controls, or Albion the Branded Dragon if we just need to get rid of a light monster that our opponent controls that may not have been summoned from the extra deck. If you do activate Mirror Jade's effect to banish a monster on the field, you will not be able to use this effect the turn after, so keep that in mind. Next is our level 10 Sinister, which is newly added to the game. You can get from a bundle if you haven't got him yet. Sinister will obviously draw a card for us as stated earlier, but he will also burn our opponent for 600 if they activate a spell trap, as well as banish that same spell trap once per turn. On top of that, if a monster is special summoned to the field, he will banish that monster and burn them for another 600. Sinister is out here burning more people than Chlamydia in Hell or NBA Youngboy concert. Alternatively, with the same combo, you can still choose to search for Blackout if you think it's better for the matchup. And you could also summon Supreme Sovereign instead of Sinister Sovereign if you think that that would be better. It really just depends. So these aren't hard cases, but I do think that it would be better personally. If you can get this off, Spell Trap negate, Spell Trap burn / negate, because it is a negate if it's a continuous card. If they activate a continuous card, Sinister is pretty much a negate. If they activate Circle and you banish / burn them, that's a negate. Essentially, it's not going to resolve, so you pretty much negated it. So it's kind of 2 spell trap negates in some versus some matchups. So I mean, it's pretty nasty work. Next, let's talk about going second. This section is less about specific combos and more about what you can do. So I'm kind of skipping over a couple things. I may not exactly talk about the skill activations here, but just keep in mind that obviously these turn 2s will be better because I'm not activating the skill explaining this to you. So the skill would obviously make all of these turn 2s much better, as well as the turn 1s combos will be much better with other cards in here. So assuming we have Ecclesia in our hand, we're going to special summon Ecclesia since our opponent controls a monster, and we're going to tribute him to summon Fallen of Albaz from our deck. Albaz will discard a card to fuse with our opponent's monster into Mirror Jade or Branded Albion Dragon, depending on which we need. And obviously that is going to be one form of removal, fusing with one of their cards. Now we can normal summon Taya, assuming that we have a Swordsoul or a Worm engraved, because we'll need to banish it with Taya to summon a token to the field. We'll now synchro into Baxia, which on summon will bounce 2 cards our opponent controls up to the amount of different attribute worms that we use for the synchro summon of this monster, which will be 2 because Taya is a wind. And I don't feel like looking up what the token is, but it's not a wind monster, and I can tell you that with certainty. Taya will activate from the grave to send a worm to the graveyard, which will be Moye. Now you can activate Baxia to pop itself and summon a level 4 or lower from my graveyard, which is going to be Moye. From here, the combo is pretty standard. Moye is going to reveal a worm in our hand, still pause, and it's going to summon a token tuner to the field. We're going to go into Grandmaster Chow, and Chow is going to search for whatever card is missing. Obviously, we're going to use our skill activations earlier in the turn, so let's just assume that we already got our searches off. Long Yuan will discard a card to summon himself plus a token, then synchro into Sinister or Supreme Sovereign, depending on the matchup. Alternatively, the skill allows us to get an additional normal summon going second, so instead, we may even start off by normal summoning Taya if we can get Emergence in rotation. If we can get Emergence engraved, or if we're desperate enough, can get Summit engraved, Taya is going to banish Emergence from the graveyard to summon a token. Then since Emergence was banished, Emergence is going to give us the ability to modify our level up or down by 1. We're going to reduce our level by 1 so that we can summon a level 7 synchro instead of an 8, being the one and only Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose Dragon is going to blow up the field, and with the field empty, using our additional normal summon, we can continue as normal, with that normal summon being Ecclesia, Moye, whatever it is that you had. I played 3 copies of Ecclesia and 3 copies of Iris because max consistency, 1 copy of Fallen of Albaz, 2 copies of Swordsoul Long Yuan, 2 copies of Swordsoul of Taya, 2 copies of Swordsoul of Moye, 1 copy of the Golden Swordsoul. We played 3 copies of Cosmic because we really don't like back row in this deck, 3 copies of Swordsoul Emergence, 1 copy of Swordsoul Sacred Summit, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, and 1 copy of Swordsoul Blackout. As for the extra deck, we're playing 1 copy of Albion the Branded Dragon, 1 Sinister Sovereign, 1 Guts, 1 Daxia, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Supreme Sovereign, 1 Adamancipator Risen Dragite, and 2 copies of Grandmaster Chow. I actually don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I'm gonna keep saying Chow because who is gonna correct me? Fuck you. Anyway, with that being said, I can't explain some of these things. I didn't really go over Iris in the beginning of the deck. I didn't really do too many combos with Iris, mostly because it's not that you can't do combos with Iris. It's just 1, I'm not going to go over every single combo in the deck. I'm just not undead. And 2, I just think most of the combos where if this is the bare minimum card you have to search and you don't have many other Swordsoul cards here, then Iris just really is going to give you the bare minimum Swordsoul combo. So I just felt like there's really no reason to go over that. You're just probably going to do the standard Moye, Chow, blah, 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 blah. But other than that, Iris is a great card, though. It is another disruption. It being in our hand is fantastic. It's more than a consistency card. It is also a disruption. There is a negated monster on the field, either us being negated or them being negated, then it can special summon itself to the field from our hand, and then it does give you an effect based on where our opponent special summons a monster from. They special summon a monster from their hand, then we get to special summon a monster from our hand. They special summon a monster from their deck, then we get to draw 2 cards. And if they special summon a monster from their extra deck, then we get to destroy one of those extra deck monsters that they special summon. So that is pretty nice. This does add on to all of the other combos I told you, all of those other disruptions, which is why our turn 1 is so phenomenal in this deck. The Infinite Impermanence is 1 because it's great to go second, 2 because it helps us prompt the Iris. We can prompt Iris with our Chow negating a monster, but if our Infinite Impermanence negates a monster as well, that is another way for our Iris to be summoned to the field. It could technically be summoned to the field using the Golden Swordsoul from the grave because it is also a spellcaster, so it could summon Ecclesia or Iris. But on our opponent's turn, I just think there's no real reason to do it unless you're really desperate. I would rather use the Golden Swordsoul to summon Ecclesia because we have no other way to get Ecclesia on the field during our opponent's turn, whereas Iris can put itself there. But if you're really desperate, the Golden Swordsoul can also put your Iris Swordsoul on the field the same way that it can put Ecclesia on the field. Another thing that I did want to talk about, there are times where you might need to banish Swordsoul Blackout. Blackout does have a second effect. If this card is banished, we're going to be able to special summon a Swordsoul token. Obviously the same, it's going to be a level 4 water tuner mon. This is going to be good in some scenarios. We may not be able to get all the monsters we want on the field. Maybe it's negated. Maybe we summon Moye and they negate Moye. Maybe we summon Taya later on. They negate Taya and we already have and we're able to summon Chow later on. Then we'll be able to summon Chow and then use Chow to banish Blackout from our deck, which will put a token on the field. And boom, we could use that with alongside one of our negated monsters to still make a level 8. This is just something that I think you should keep in mind. I talked about Emergence. This is going to let us modulate our levels. Summit also lets us modulate our levels. We're going to be able to do the same thing. It's by up or down by 1. So Summit and Emergence pretty much do the same thing when we banish them. I think I talked about Daxia during the combo, it being able to resummon a level 4 from our graveyard or summon it for the first time. I don't know why I said it was summon. I didn't really talk about Guts, but for those of you not familiar with Guts, when a monster effect is activated, we're going to be able to banish that monster using Berserker. You could summon this in place of Dragite in some of the combos that I showed you. I just would rather have the spell Trap Negate, but there may be instances where Berserker is just a better card to have than Dragite. I couldn't tell you what those instances are, but I'm sure that they exist in some way, shape, or form. I do like Guts. If anything, this might be the card that I cut for this specific thing that I'm about to tell you about right now. There are other cards you could play. Dingirsu was pretty popular in the Swordsoul extra deck. A lot of people play Dingirsu. Dingirsu, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with him. Rank 8 card. On someone that's going to be able to non-target send a card to the graveyard. It also will be able to protect our field from destruction. Some people also play the Galaxy package. I don't personally play the Galaxy package. I just think that that's a bit much, but you could play the Galaxy package. And when I say Galaxy package, I am talking about Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon, and Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon. I feel like our extra deck isn't that damn free. I'm not saying this is the best build that you could play. As always, you can look at DLM, but this is the build that I personally play. You can also join our Discord, link in the description, to talk to other Swordsoul players and see what they may play, because maybe they have a better build than me. Because at the end of the day, I'm just here to tell you how to play it, not here to tell you fucking ratios. I do whatever the hell Undead says. I don't remember his slogan. But with all that out of the way, let's get into a replay so I can show this deck list in full action. Right before this, I was like, hey, yo, I'm sorry that I'm in gold. I'm gonna try to get a good game for you guys, but I'm in gold. You know how this is. I just got spanked by dinos right before this. I'm not proud of it. Not proud of it. Went first and everything, bro. I just got spanked. This is what those other YouTubers won't show you in the video, and I'm not gonna show you either, but I'll tell you, it did happen. I got spanked. Going against Salad. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This is insane. This is a good book, actually. This is a really good book. I'm not trying to act like his turn is taking that long. Let me actually pay attention to what's happening. So there's no point in trying to destroy him, right? Because he's got Balinks engraved. So we're not gonna go the Black Rose route. I think we're gonna search Ecclesia. Ecclesia is gonna go into Fallen Albast. Then we'll try to go Taya. And we already have Summon in hand. I already have two, and I got Taya in hand too, baby. Okay. We're cooking with grease. I'm gonna grab Ecclesia. I want to start with Taya almost want to start with Taya. I might start with Taya. You know what? It'll bait something out. We're gonna go Ecclesia. Not even because this is really to break the board, but I'm hoping that he'll not want me to do what I'm doing. Maybe, you know. Maybe he doesn't want me to do what I'm doing. Maybe he doesn't care. Normal special Fallen Albaz. We're gonna discard Iris. We have two in hand. We're gonna go Mirror Jade. We're going to use. Oh, if it's sent to the grave, is material. So we're just gonna use you. I really think it's that deep. Not like any of the monsters actually do anything. Just breaking the board little by little. We're gonna go Taya, right? I probably should have started with Taya. If I knew he was gonna really let me get away with this, we're gonna normal summon Taya. We're gonna try to go Baxia here. He allows for it. A banish Iris. We're gonna go Baxia. If he allows us to go Baxia, it's over. Yeah, he lost. He's cooked. Unless one of those two cards are a negate, which it could be. I don't actually know what salads are playing nowadays, but if they're not negates, it's not looking great. Uno, gonna hit another card. Gonna get both back row. We're gonna chain Taya. Taya's gonna send Moye to the graveyard. See what he does. We're gonna activate Mirror Jade. Gonna send Mirror Jade. Gonna banish Sunlight Wolf. It does require Rat. Right. To make, yep, he's got to go Baylink. We're gonna send Moye. Oh my god, bro. Is this really what we're doing? This is really what we're doing. Baxia. Grab Moye from the grave. I'm in Moye. Moye is gonna reveal. Doesn't matter. We have all Swordsoul cards in our hand. I'm not sure what we should go into, honestly. I mean, obviously I'm gonna go Chow, but I'm really talking about my second 8. Going to add Blackout, draw a card. We're going to activate Emergence. We're going to grab Longyuan. Actually, we'll discard Iris. Kind of running low on time somehow. I'm just going to go battle and we're not going to think about it. I'm just going to turn my brain off. I'm going to activate Summit to bring back Iris from the graveyard. Set Blackout, set Imperm. Same column as his monster, as his back row, I mean. I really didn't mean to hit Balinks, but like I said, I turned my brain off, so it is what it is. You should let it die, because I don't know why you would save it. Put 2 Balinks in grave. Yeah, makes sense to me. Probably going to protect these last 2. Okay. I could have said yeah, but I genuinely I'm just running low on time. But we're about to kill him here, so it doesn't matter. I could even negate this back row with Imperm. I might just use Sovereign. I think we're going to use Sovereign actually because he dies. Just double Sovereign, he dies. He activates that, burn him for 6. He special summons a monster, burn him for 6. It's over. That's fine. You can have it. A 6. This is about to be 600. He activates that back row. It's another 600. He's cooked. That's fine. I don't care. He literally can't flip up the back row. Like, he can't even use it. He's like, that's how you feel, brother. If he doesn't use it now, it's done anyway. It's negated. He's so cooked that it doesn't even make sense, bro. I could have even activated Blackout. That's how, like, OP this is, bro. Like, I could have activated Blackout. We're still gonna win. I didn't even use the Blackout. I'm kind of pressed on time, so I'm not making the greatest decisions. I'm not gonna lie. Big GG's in the chat. Big GG's in the chat. Like I said, I could have activated the Blackout. I literally was giving him a chance. Though he probably would have protected himself with Balinks. He wouldn't have protected the field spell. I could have hit like the field spell in the other background. I really wanted him to use the background. I wanted to kill him by burn. I really wanted to win by burn, but he just refused to let me win by burn. So it is what it is. But yeah. You guys already know, man. Swordsoul is a fantastic deck, and it's just great, bro. It's gas. And like I said, I am gonna get you guys a free-to-play version of this deck list for my free-to-play guys. I am trying to bring free-to-play Fridays back. Me and Undead were talking about it. I read the comments, even if I'm not replying all the time. I do try to reply, but I'll read the comments. Before we get out of here, man, make sure you guys join the Discord link, man. Make sure you guys add me on Twitter, and make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment on this YouTube video, and I will see you guys next time. Team 6K signing off. Weatherman out.
Hey, why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. I don't ask them to wait on me. They would ask where they gon' be with a song if they wanted the Weatherman. I ain't asking to pay no fees. She was homeless and needed a spot. I ain't ask her to pay no lease. I ain't ask her to say no please. I ain't ask her to make no cheese. Scream fake, but it ain't on me. Got clean, so it ain't no streets. Why green if it ain't no keeps? Brought cream, so it ain't no beef. My team say it ain't no chief. My demon, they hang on me. They seemingly ain't no peace. I seen him, he ain't no beast. For real.